13 minutes to 4 o'clock. How many more things do we have? Is
Exhibition?
it a busy week, by the way?
Oh, yeah, well, I can keep going, but I mean...
I know that.
No.
I know that. Yes. What's coming next, then?
Exhibition. So this is the new film by Joanna Hogg.
Exhibitions or exhibition?
Exhibition.
Singular.
Exhibition.
Okay.
Some people say that I talk too fast, but I think it's just that they listen too slowly.
That'll be it.
Exhibition. Joanna Hogg, who is the sort of maestro of the cinema of middle-class unease. If you look at films like Unrelated and Archipelago, which are the previous works. Did you see Archipelago?
No.
Archipelago.
Or the other one.
Okay, Archipelago was with Tom Hiddleston. Is a regular provider, in fact, and appears in this. And the story here is there are two artists, one named D, one named H, living together in a modernist townhouse, in which they appear to be trapped. She's played by Viv Albertine, of course, former punk rock legend. No, I was just gesturing towards you because you would know who Viv Albertine was.
No.
Okay, fine. Liam Gillick, the artist.
Who was he?
She.
Who is she?
She was the lead guitarist in the Slits, and she's still, a sort of fairly well-known musician. And she's very big on the, I suppose there's this sort of, not avant-garde. So, anyway, but
We don't do avant-garde,
but known mainly more as a musician than an actor, obviously. And
Yes.
Liam Gillick is an artist.
Thanks.
And they both play artists.
Thanks.
She is downstairs attempting to put together a piece of art which looks like it's a performance art piece, although it seems to involve a certain amount of drawing. He is upstairs pootling away on his computer, so the two are kind of completely hermetically sealed in this very sort of weird modernist townhouse. They're connected by an intercom, which every now and then, after sort of long bits of working, you'll just get a thing and go, hello, it's me. Hello, I'm a bit cold. Could you turn the boiler on? And then every now and then they have marginally more intimate conversations, and they appear to be joined genetically in the house by this spiral staircase that goes up through the middle of the house that looks like a massive DNA helix.
Okay. Yeah.
Looks like that.
Well,
And-
it looks like a spiral staircase then.
Well, it is a spiral
Yes,
staircase. It
that's
doesn't
what I'm
look
saying.
like a spiral staircase. It is a spiral staircase, but it seems very specifically in this particular context of a helix of DNA, which seems actually thematically well chosen. Now, if you know Joanna Hogg's work, she would.
Don't.
Okay, she made Archipelago. Okay, Archipelago was the film in which Tom Hiddleston, a bunch of people go to Tresco and have a really bad time amidst absolutely beautiful settings. And it was one of those things, I always had a problem with Archipelago because it was like they've got beautiful houses and they've got everything's wonderful, and yet they're doing nothing but moaning. And it's a very, very well-made film about kind of annoying people. And actually that's sort of Joanna Hogg's métier. So in the case of this, it is a portrait of two independent artists living in a house which is very much a living, breathing entity. And their marriage appears to be in some level of crisis, but you're not entirely sure. They have differing sexual desires. They appear to have some kind of professional tension. And they are also both living within the spectre of the fact that they are going to move out of this house in which they have lived for a very long time. And the house, incidentally, is a more talkative character often than the characters in it. This is not a dialogue-heavy movie. This is a movie in which the main sound is the ambient sound of the street being torn up outside, or of chairs clattering on the hard floor. I am making that noise for illustrative purposes, but don't take my word for it. Here is an illustrative clip of Exhibition. You may need to turn your radio up.
Try and enjoy the house while you can.
Yeah.
Okay? Watch out for the phantom pisser.
Wow.
You get the sense. So it's not a dialogue-heavy piece. Now, here's the thing with them. Firstly,
A bit of mumbling like Jamaica in there, I think, don't you?
oh, I never saw Jamaica in. I've seen all the news stories about how nobody can understand what they're saying. But here's the thing with it. I think Joanna Hogg is a really brilliant, singular, and challenging filmmaker. I think this is her best film. It's certainly the film of hers that I have been able to get into the most. In the case of something like Archipelago, and you admire it as a piece of filmmaking, but I found the characters so annoying that I found it, and I do understand that making films about characters that you don't necessarily sympathise with is not a problem. And as we were talking before about Wolf of Wall Street, that thing about you don't have to sympathise with characters in order to find the drama engaging. In the case of this, actually, although it is dealing with that similar thing about sort of bourgeois ennui, you know, characters who really on a physical level appear to have nothing to worry about, but are still wrestling in a very quiet way with existential problems. I actually thought what was impressive about it was a very convincing portrait of a long-term relationship between two working people, and the ways in which their relationship appears to be sort of fluctuating between, on the one, being driven apart and also being codependent at the same time. I think I perfectly believed in both the characters. Although I didn't particularly like either of the characters, I absolutely believed in them, and I also absolutely believed in their situation. There are moments of comedy in the film as well. There are moments of sort of, you know, strange black comedy, and lurking in the background of it all, which I think gave it a frisson, is this sort of sense of encroaching Haneke-esque horror. You know, did you ever see anything like Funny Games or have you ever seen any Haneke's films? No. No. Okay, but what
usually when you ask me if I've seen something, the answer is no.
Okay, fine. So what Haneke does is he has this sort of way of portraying sort of, you know, upper middle class households in which there is some brooding, awful threat, and which then, in the case of Funny Games, manifests itself in the most horrible way imaginable. In the case of this, that's not what we're dealing with, but there is a sense of something lurking around the outside. It's a very interesting film about people being in a space in which the house itself is the most important character. It's visually absolutely beautiful. It's put together with the precision of a Swiss watch. And I think it's, you know, from my point of view, I thought it was Joanna Hogg's best film. And as I said, I do think she is a really important and singular artist. I cannot say that I like or enjoy her films very much, or haven't done, you know, so much so far. But of all of them, this was the one that got under my skin the most, and most importantly, it's the one that stayed with me the most. I mean, by the end of Archipelago, I wasn't in any way sad to see the back of that lot.
So you liked it?
Yes, I admire it very much. No. So if you'd let me finish, I admire it very much. I liked it somewhat, but there are still moments that you want to scream, because I mean, our films require patience, and they're precise and piercing and somewhat unforgiving. And yet, what I liked about this is that the depiction of the relationship seemed real, it seemed tangible, it seemed organic, and the kind of kindness therefore seeps in around the edges of it. And I think it's an impressive one. The more I think about it, the more I like it.